This is where we hold them! This is where we fight!
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.
Rob, what's good, homie?
Yo, I wanted to start the show this evening. Happy Sunday, everybody. I was texting with our boy Bill yesterday, and one of my first text to him was, if anybody didn't see the video that he shared on Twitter, I don't know if he shared it on his Facebook, is of Gavin, his son. And I don't know, how old is Gavin at this point? Probably like what,
12 or 13.
12, 13 years old. At the front, I believe front 9.
Front 11.
Oh, he had the front 11. All right.
Front 11.
So he had the front 11, and he ringed a 10 for $299 then. I texted him because I didn't really know Gavin was like bowling. Like, I mean, like really bowling. Like, I mean, I didn't know he's.
Well,
really,
what do you consider really bowling at that age?
The way. Have you seen him throw it? Like that to me, the way he throws it is really bowling.
Okay,
like,
so to you, all right, no, I'm just trying to define what you mean by really bowling. Like, is it the way he throws it? Is it what you're bowling? Is it the competition level you're bowling? Is it how often you're bowling? I mean, yeah, I think for a kid, for a kid who's 12 or 13 years old, I think even if you're bowling in a league, right? If you're bowling like in a once a week regular league, then you could probably say that you bowl, right? That to me, that probably qualifies it enough. Like, you don't have to bowl tournaments, you don't have to bowl any extra stuff. Like, you just show up, you bowl your league once a week, you participate, and you could, I think that would qualify.
So
to me, I'll be honest, I don't even think it has to do with how you throw it.
Well, Nico's asking in the comments if he's bowling tournaments, and I think he's just bowling at this point once a week. But here's the thing: is this is like the age
he's going to be bowling tournaments now. That's what I text Bill. I said, "Well, make sure you email Brunswick and say put me on the list for junior gold this year, because he's going to want to go now."
Well, he already qualified. Probably. I mean, you know how that goes.
You would think so.
The 299, they put him right into the finals at this point. I was really kind of surprised to see how good he threw it, because I didn't realize that he was actually bowling. Like bowling meaning like he's two-handed, and he's got a pretty good like a pretty good fluent bowling motion for a 12-year-old. I mean, I was good when I was that age, and I wasn't throwing it half as good as he threw it, right, in that video. This is the age where you start to get the bug, right? Like, when you're 8, 9, you kind of like maybe doing a lot of other sports, right? You're doing this, baseball, basketball, whatever, soccer, you're doing all these other sports. But once you get to like that 13, 14, 15 age is kind of where you really catch the bug. And then you're
not these days, Rob.
What?
Not these days.
Okay, so school me on that. Like, what do you mean?
The new way of doing things, I mean, this is just from my perspective. I'm only talking from what I've seen. Is that specialization sport almost starts from 8 or 9.
Oh,
for most kids. For most kids, for the ones that are most serious about it.
Yeah.
I know that what you're describing, that's the way it was when we were younger. I think that's less common today. I think that if you don't commit yourself to the sport you play, by the time you're younger than 15, 14, even 13, you're probably going to be way behind. And unless you're just an absolutely superior athletic talent, you're probably not going to catch up, right? So now, with all that said, I will say this about bowling. Might be the one sport that's not true of. And the reason that it's not true is because physically, you can't even really start to throw the ball or execute the shots or handle the ball or handle a ball of a minimum weight that's going to be effective until you reach probably 12, 13, 14, depending on size, right? And that's where you can really get serious about the game, because you can now go out and sort of throw a 14, 15-pound ball with effectiveness, keep your form, repeat. Like, other sports don't have that. I mean, there's only a couple sports I could think of that have that aspect where, like, the weight of the equipment dictates that you're not going to be able to do this at a high level until this particular age or maturity development level, I should say, physical maturity development.
So let me ask you your opinion on something, because I'm glad we were talking about this, because I'm just bringing this from my own perspective of when I bowled as a kid. I when I was a younger bowler, as I was saying that age, 12, 13 years old, 14, I didn't have a lot of power or rev rate. I was a very straight player. I was very, like, just playing up first arrow, second arrow. Urethane, really, right at that point, was like red U dots, black U dots, whatever. I didn't really start generating, like, rev rate and power until, like, late high school and into college, where then I started maturing, hitting the weight room, right, and generating a lot of strength in that aspect. Now fast forward to this generation, the two-handed style, right? This gives kids that are younger, in their, like, 11, 12, 13, 14 years old, who are two-handed, that type of power when you didn't have it as a 12 or 13, 14-year-old when we were growing up, because there weren't a lot of two-handed players. So would that be something that you would agree with, that you're now, these kids are seeing a lot of generation of power and are seeing a lot of, like, stone nines, messengers, right? When we were bowling one-handed, throwing urethane type balls, we didn't see that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, right? Yeah, the two-handed revolution has sped up the timeline on all that, right? No question. I think it also allows kids to throw heavier bowling balls earlier, right? And I think it also allows kids to be a little bit more effective with probably a 12 or 13-pound ball. So they can probably be more effective earlier, use a heavier ball earlier, create more rev rate and power, and yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see. It's interesting to think about what impact the two-handed revolution will have on everything and on all this. But I definitely agree with your perspective there. Yeah, for sure.
And I would hope that like, being able to generate power when you're younger helps you get the bowling bug earlier, right? Where when you were talking, maybe in bowling, it just doesn't happen maybe until later, like other sports. But maybe the two-handed in that type of, like, style, that being able to generate power and be able to score, like, high with the older kids as a younger kid, hopefully you're able to, like, get the bowling bug and compete in tournaments, compete in junior goal, all the stuff, like, at an earlier age than when we, like, really had the bug. So look, I was excited and happy to see Gavin throw the ball, because he doesn't really take videos a lot of his kids, especially Gavin throwing a bowling ball. So
it wasn't him videoing.
Oh, it wasn't. He wasn't there, right? Was he?
I don't actually. I never asked him if he was there or not. I only asked him if it was him videoing, and it wasn't. It was. I don't want to say who it was. It was someone else. But I found the reaction to the video very funny. So it was like the person threw the phone in the air in frustration and yelled out. But yeah, listen, if you're a bowler, that's something you're going to have to learn, right? Sometimes it just doesn't go your way, even when you throw it good. But threw it good on that 11th and 12th shot. I mean.
Yeah,
for having that pressure bowling the 300. So
he's got his daddy's ice in the veins. He's got the genetic ice in the veins.
When that popped up, I was like, oh, all right, no doubt.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So that was my kind of first opening thought here. What's going on with you,
Well,
Mike?
you're a jerk. You're a jerk
Why?
because you stole my final thought. You jerk.
Oh,
You could have said something before we came on the air that's what you were going to jump out with. I would have been like, well, Rob, that's going to be my final thought. I'm going
I
to
was just thinking
throw
about
it in there at the end of like, yo, shout to Gav. But all right, that's fine.
I wanted to have a
Hijack
more
the show,
in-depth
Rob. Why don't
discussion,
you?
though. I wanted to have a
Hijack-
more in-depth discussion about it.
Hijack the show with no warning. Thanks, Rob. Appreciate that. Now I got to come up with a final thought on the fly.
Oh,
Thanks.
you get the bowl league.
Speaking of youth sports, that's why we didn't have a show last week. I was in Florida for the weekend, Thursday through Sunday, playing a soccer tournament, soccer showcase.
Showcase.
Yeah, it's special. I don't have to get into a discussion about that.
I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah, and went down to Florida. My entire family now wants to move to Florida.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they do. They want to sell the place in Jersey and move to Florida. We go to Florida one time in the non-summertime months, and my entire family wants to move to Florida.
Where in Florida did you guys go?
We went to IMG Academy. You know IMG? You're familiar with IMG?
I am not.
No? Oh man. IMG is it's like a sports school.
Sports school.
Yeah, it is. It started as a tennis school and it grew from there, and now they offer all kinds of sports, boys and girls, and high level elite teams. Right? Beautiful. I mean, I was blown away by this place, Rob. Like, obviously they don't have an IMG bowling team. So there was no bowling alley on campus or anything, but soccer complex, soccer stadium, football complex, football stadium, softball, baseball, lacrosse.
Expensive private school?
Yeah, private, 60 grand a year. 60 grand a year.
Wait, 60
Yep.
grand a year?
60 a year, yep.
For high school?
Yep.
Bro, that's like Ivy League. That's probably more expensive than Ivy League.
No. You don't. You need to look up prices these days, bro. Ivy League colleges are like 75, 100 a year at this point. Yeah.
Oh my god. I was thinking more like when my brother was going to college. I definitely wasn't going to Ivy League.
Yeah. So we were around the Sarasota Bradenton area.
Oh, okay.
Last weekend. Very nice. I mean, man, the weather was just amazing and it was great, but almost got lucky, but almost got caught up in the whole government shutdown, flights getting canceled, airport madness. A lot of people that were with us on the trip got caught up in that madness. We did not. We were lucky enough to get on the plane. We had to sit on the runway for 3 hours in the plane without taking off. So we sat on the runway longer than the flight actually took. But I didn't care. Rob, I didn't care. We were on the plane and we were getting home that night. I was sleeping in my bed that night. I didn't care.
I know, but I think that's worse sitting on the runway than actually sitting like I'd rather at least sit in the terminal than sit.
Oh, no doubt. I was
so terrible.
I was on the verge of panic by the time we were landing. I wanted to get off the plane, but
I gotta highlight some of the comments here because we've had a lot of people coming in here. Yellow Magic. I don't think I've seen that name before, man. What's
Yellow
good?
Magic? Is that same as Blue Magic?
3Bet1, man. We still don't know who this guy is, and you know he's we
mysterious. Email us.
I know you pulled this up before, but yeah, I realized that on the update this week on StreamYard has a mobile friendly version now. So
shout to StreamYard.
Yeah, they're always updating stuff, man. It's a good platform, but man, they doubled the price on us from last year, so they better be coming up with updates. Agent on Open, talking about Niners, the most fraudulent football team, I think, other than maybe the Bears this year.
Well, that's why we're on early tonight. Eagles, Lions, go Birds.
Precision, your AI videos are funny. Taking my money, Pearl. The Pearl version. And then, you know what's funny about me making that video is I made that video 2 days before they Phase 2 Pearl released and they announced it. And I was just like, man, like, dude, that AI stuff is pretty interesting, man. You know how many people are reaching out, like thinking that shit's real? It's crazy. Like, that I swear to you, the one I made of the tour of them giving the mansion with all the bowling balls in it. I got that idea from my brother because my brother's apartment, I think, looks like that. Only it's 1,000, probably 1,500 square feet, and it's all bowling balls. And I was laughing because I was like, man, people were like, man, where is this house? I need this. Patrick J, what up, man? How's it going? Yo, this is a crazy comment. Yo, Big Mike, did you hear that Luis Napolis was asking for viewers to help him move out since he's getting divorced? Yo, man, I'm not going to make fun of somebody that's going through a divorce, going through tough times, man. I mean, it's tough, man. Tough out there. So I stay single, Mike. Let's go. Yeah, so G Bryant, man, second time on your podcast. Good stuff, fellas. What up? I was just say, what up, G? G Bryant, what up, man? What's happening? Good to be in the chat there. And Xbox Steven, longtime listener, first time commenter. Love to hear it. Got the paperclip. Isn't that from the Microsoft Word? Like when you do the tutorials? Pretty sure that is. Three-handed bowler. I appreciate it. I'm sitting there every time I have an idea, I write it down, and I have a lot more on deck. So I try to release a new AI video every day to keep the social media fresh, which is important these days. All right, Mike, league review. Did you get a chance to bowl league?
Oh, you know why the people come here.
All right.
You know why the people show up, bro.
I know, yeah. I'm about to put on the red zone right now while you're going through your league review.
Hold on. But what's better than one league review?
Oh, no, two?
Than two league reviews.
Oh, man. My apologies to the people listening.
What's better than one league review than two league reviews?
My apologies to everybody listening right now.
So, first of all, we're in last. We're in last in the league.
I don't even know if I want to listen to this right now. What a train wreck. All right, go ahead.
We're in last. But I've been bowling good. I've been bowling okay. 2 weeks ago, we bowled on the short. And I didn't light them on fire. I went 212, 215, 183 for 610.
Purple daddy?
Purple for the first two games, but it don't look real good. The next time I bowl on the short, I think I'm gonna not use the purple. They're just, I don't know, they're just very tight. It's Broadway V2, and I've used the purple on that and crushed them with the purple on that. But
okay, so let me ask you, because this is kind of interesting to me. I think the great thing about the urethane and using the urethane is it's pretty easy to tell if it's going to be good or not. You know what I mean?
Precision diesel injection is saying we have 2 lives up right now.
Yeah, I think it's good. They have a new update with the mobile version, and I think you gotta I think you might have to I don't know what it looks like on your guys' end, so I apologize about that. But you easily know when urethane is going to be good or when it's not going to be good. So is it more of an execution thing, or is it just you don't have that miss right you normally do on a short when you're using the urethane?
No, it's that if you get it right, it doesn't really look that good, and if you get it straight up the lane, it goes high and doesn't look that good.
So if you miss right, it hangs, and you miss left, it hooks.
Yeah, and I just think that from looking around and watching what some other people are doing, I just think that reactive is probably the better move on that. So
something stronger, but probably still smoother.
Yeah, definitely smooth, no doubt. I'm thinking Game Breaker 5, maybe. I'm thinking
symmetrical.
I threw a hammer special effect the last 2 weeks for game 3, and my execution wasn't all that great last week, so I only shot 180 something. But
special effect ASIM or a sim?
I believe it's ASIM.
The one thing I don't like about those Game Breakers is they're symmetrical. Most of them, I'm not sure if the new one is. And when you're trying to smooth out a shorter pattern, I prefer using something ASIM that's got some surface on it. because they tend to like use up a lot of energy earlier. The ASIMs, the symmetrical balls, will go just like way too long and give me way too much back end on shorter patterns.
Yeah, so that was 2 weeks ago on the short, and then last week we bowled the same team because it was knockdowns, and come in and we're bowling the same team. We're on the last bear. We're on the last bear, and I was like, well, I know what that means. We're in the bottom two. But the good news is we won out of the last 2 weeks. We won all but one game from this team. So I think we should be moving out of the basement soon. Next knockdowns, I'm hoping we're not in that final match. I hope we're at least one or two pairs above that final match. That would be nice. So this was on the long pattern.
How long?
It's like 40 something, 46, I think.
Okay.
It's the PWBA Cleveland something or other open from some year.
Okay.
I would describe it as a light volume long pattern where you want to play right and you want to play straight through the front part of the lane, and you want to use something smooth with some surface. And if you stay slow enough, you can create some room right. But yeah, you gotta stay pretty slow, and you gotta be rolling it pretty good.
I struggled personally on those longer, lighter volume patterns.
I like them. I bowl well on them.
Yeah, I found myself kind of chasing like the rabbit, trying to move left. And the more I move left on that, the more it would hook. And I think you're right, trying to play it right. But the problem with that is if you miss it a little bit at the bottom and you get it right, you 2-8-10 every freaking time.
Yeah, washouts. There's a lot of missing the head pin on this pattern. No question.
So I think you're right, like getting something to read probably earlier, but not like 15-10 type stuff. Like keep it like right in that area.
Yep, that's it. I mean, I usually have my eyes somewhere around 8, like 7, 8, and I'm just trying to make that my absolute right that I'm getting the ball. And if I do that and I stay slow, it's going to look real good. I've been using a stealth mode on that for the first game or two, and then last week I went to a theorem at the end of game 2, theorem solid, pin up just to have a little more pop. Because they got a little tighter down the lane, I felt like, and I had to move left a little bit, kind of get it around it. But I went 245, 199, 209, 653.
That's good. That's a good set. I take that every week.
Yeah, no doubt.
One thing I hate about those lighter volume patterns too is the fronts tend to go pretty quickly too, and you force left.
Yeah, not in this league. not in this league.
Got it.
Not in this league, no. Because at most you got like 2 people playing in that part of the lane.
Gotcha.
So it kind of stays there for a long time. And you don't have to get too far away from it. Because there's just not a lot of traffic in that part of the lane. One thing I've learned from bowling on these sports shot leagues with a lot of guys who are more accustomed to bowling on house is that the hardest thing for a house player to do is to move their feet right and play anywhere near the gutter. I mean, even like them trying to play 10 or 8 or 9 is like they feel like they're going to throw it in the gutter and they get antsy and they start yanking it.
Well, the gutter is a lost art. And I think that has to do with one, there isn't a lot of sport patterns out there that force you to play the gutter, like right of 5. House patterns, it's practically impossible to play right, to play 5. They hook so much that you have to have a super low rev rate and a super high speed to play the gutter on a house shot. With the way the balls are made these days and how strong they are, even the weak balls are strong. The gutter is like a lost art. It's non-existent.
It is. That's a great point. And even the sport patterns where you do have to play the gutter, you only have to do it for a limited amount of time before you can get away from. I mean, you still got to go to it, but you don't have to play up it, right? Yeah, those were some of my favorite PBA shows back in the day. Watching David Ozio, or
So, in your
Walter Ray,
opinion, here's a good
Mike
topic.
Butter.
Speaking of that, in your opinion, history of the PBA, if you were to put the number one greatest bowler that could play, that would be on the gutter. For me, it's Parker Bowen.
That was going to be my first question: is are we including lefties?
I mean, have to. But if you go, let's eliminate the lefties, because Parker Bowen is.
If you
probably
include the lefties,
greatest.
then my vote is probably for Parker too.
Yeah, let's get rid of the lefties. Exclude them. Best righty. G. Bryant says Norm Duke.
It's a good one. That's a really good one.
Here's the good one. I don't want to say it. Eugene McCune.
Ooh, that is a good one. How about this? How about Dave Traber?
I was thinking Dave and Dale Traber.
How about Dave Traber? Who remembers them some Dave Traber?
Cuda. I'm gonna Cuda.
Oh man, nothing on it, bro. Just straight boom. Let it right off your hand.
One match, Cheetah for a major. Traber versus
Cheetah, you got to take McCune. You got to take McCune.
I think McCune's going to win every match on the gutter.
You got to take McCune. But Duke is a really good answer. David Ozio is a really good answer.
Butch Soper.
Yeah, but see, Butch Soper, though, hold on, Tony. Butch Soper wasn't going up the gutter. He was going right at the head pin. Yeah, he was coming off the gutter, but going at the head pin. So I don't know if I could put Butch Soper in that category.
I mean, you got to throw Walter in there, but I would put McCune up. I would put McCune up against anybody on the gutter, honestly. Voss, and yeah, these are all like old school
Brian
players.
Voss, right? I don't know. I usually remember Voss playing in the middle of the lane. And not playing the gutter.
Ozio would be the one that would probably be because there's anybody who could play right of like, and I'm talking like 1, 2, 3 board and do it with accuracy and success. David Ozio would probably be it. McCune scoring wise, though, I don't think there's anybody that could beat him when the gutter was out.
All right.
Well, good. I love talking about that kind of stuff, man. We should probably, what I like to do is maybe watch some old YouTube videos with everybody and do it live and pull some of these shows out where we're talking about them playing the gutter, and even if it's like a 1-game match to do it for like 40 minutes, I think people would think that's pretty interesting. Yeah, how about a current day? Andrew, what's up, Andrew? Closest is D Tang with a pitch black. Scott Devers. I seen Devers and Matt Anderson. What up? The big wheels in the chat. Matt Anderson, Scott Devers.
It's a good one.
Butch Soper. Yeah, I mean, there's some.
I don't know, Pat Brown. Butch Soper. I know that 300 you're talking about. I'll have to go back and look, but I remember him going at the head pin, not up the gutter.
Yeah. Adam, what's up, man? Adam. Maurice, looking forward to being back at the 2026 TOC in Akron. Yeah, that was I wish when we went to the Hall of Fame this year that we would have had a chance to like watch some bowling while we were there, but
I did.
I know I didn't. That'd have been fun for me and you to be there watching, and if Bill would have done good in that tournament, I think we would have tried to make it work.
No doubt.
Current day, Matt says, is tough. No one plays there anymore. It's true. We just talked about it. It's a lost art, bro. The gutter is 7 at the break point. 7 at the break point, Matt. All right, Mike. I know you got into a little bolero. I shouldn't call it incident this weekend, but
let me intro this segment by saying that.
Dave Ferraro throwing that out there. Black UDOT.
It's a good one. It's a good one. It's a very good one. I started giving lessons.
Okay.
I'm back into coaching.
Nice.
Had a local high school bowler reach out to me through the pro shop where I get my stuff drilled. And the pro shop owner gave my phone number to the parent. They were looking for lessons for their high school kid, and started working with this young guy. on some lessons and doing some stuff. And needless to say, I've been spending a little bit more time in the bowling center. And the bowling center where this young man prefers to practice is the Bolero Center. His high school does bowl at this Bolero Center. And I've had some interesting experiences already. I have. And it's very evident to me that Bolero is going to have a lot to do with the downfall of the competitive side of bowling. I mean, there's no question about this.
Okay.
Just with their policies and the way that they deal with things.
So so we've known this kind of for a while, but why the epiphany all of a sudden?
Well, no, why? Well, not really an epiphany, but why add to the picture, to the clarity of the picture, right? Is the way I would describe it, right?
Okay.
What's making the picture more clear? Well, like I try to arrange a time to go and give a lesson. What do you want when you're giving a lesson? Two things, basically, right? You want the lanes done to at least a decent degree, and you want the lights on. Okay. So
It's not really big. Those are really big asks. I mean,
that's what I'm finding out, Rob. So I go to the people at the front desk, and right away, the person at the front desk, one of them is brand new. So the first person I walk up to, they have no idea what I'm talking about. They're like, "Oh, it's my first day here. I'm clueless." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I wait for somebody else who's a little more experienced in this particular Bolero to come. I ask them, "Hey, what do Sunday mornings look like in terms of the lane availability?" "Oh, no good. We're booked up with legs all Sunday morning until early Sunday afternoon. And as soon as the legs are done, we turn out the lights for the rest of the day." Okay. I said, "How about Fridays? What do Fridays look like in terms of coming in and getting a pair?" "Oh, Fridays are good. Fridays look good. We're wide open all Friday afternoon. We're wide open." I said, "Okay. Can I book a pair for Friday? Can I reserve a pair for Friday?" "Oh, what do you want to reserve the pair for?" "Well, I'm giving a lesson. I wanted to reserve a pair for a lesson." "Oh, no, I can't reserve you a pair for that." "Okay, all right. But we had plenty of pairs. Don't worry about it. Come in on Friday." Okay. So I arranged the lesson on Friday, right? I walk through the door of the Bolero on Friday. I walk in. Every light in the place is out. It's Cosmic Bowling. 3:45 on a Friday afternoon. Okay. I walk in, and the person who I dealt with on Tuesday when I was there is there. And I said, "Bro, I told you I was coming here to give a lesson today. Like, don't you think it would be worth mentioning that the lights were going to be off and it was going to be Cosmic Bowling?" "Oh, no, I didn't realize. Sorry."
wait. So I have a
Okay.
question. Were there a lot of open bowlers bowling in the global pairs?
No, there was hardly anyone. There was hardly anyone. In fact, it's like a 50-lane center. Okay. On the end that we were on, which was the high end, there was only one other bowler, and they were clearly a serious bowler that was practicing. They had multiple balls on the rack. Okay. So I asked the girl at the desk, "Miss," I said, "I know this is crazy to request, but do you think there's any way you could turn on just some of the lights down there?
Yeah, just a few. Like, so
A few of the lights down there." She looks at me, she says, "No, we're not allowed. It's after 2:00 on Friday."
Jesus.
I mean, so that it gets worse. It gets worse for those that want to hear. So we go down. I'm like, all right, I'm not going to argue with them. We're here. We're going to do the lesson. We're going to make the most of it that we can. We go down. We start doing the lesson. Like, I can see that he can't see the arrows because I can't see the arrows while we're standing there. And, obviously it's not the most productive environment to be practicing in, and, et cetera. So we get maybe warmed up, like we're done warming up, right? Basically throwing a few shots here and there. And what happens? the lights on the other end of the bowling center go on. The girl at the desk turns the lights on like lanes 1 through 10. So I tell the kid, I'm like, wait here. I go up, I go to her, I said, Miss, the lights are on down there. She's like, oh yeah, well, we have a Friday afternoon league down there. That's why the lights are on down there. I said to her, I said, Miss, when I asked you to turn the lights on down here, wouldn't it have made sense to say, well, I can't turn the lights on down there, but in about 15 minutes, I'm going to be turning the lights on down here if you want to take the pair right next to where the lights are going. No. So we had to wait for somebody to finish up on one lane, and then we transferred our pair down to a pair next to where the lights were on for the league. And it was better, but you still have all the TV screens on and, you know, music playing. And it's just, I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. Like, why not cater to the people that are there at the time that the business is running?
But don't you have the ability, and I don't know this, maybe someone who works at a bowling alley could school me or educate me. Doesn't the bowling center have, obviously, this is what happened at your bowling center, what you're talking about. Don't they have the ability to put like half the lanes on and the other half of the center global?
Yeah.
So why, I don't understand why they have to put the whole bowling center on global when there's like, what, 3 maybe lanes going when global is on, and they have all these other bowlers who want to bowl. So like, why don't they just do half and half and then see who's out there and then just like adjust to who's bowling and who wants to bowl? Like, wouldn't that be a crazy thought?
So you would assume Tuesday, Friday 2:00, all the way through probably Sunday, right? It's probably mostly global. Okay, most Bolero centers. So like, what does this mean for, you know, people who are interested in the more sports side of the game that want to practice? You know?
Yeah, it doesn't. And I'm thinking even like league bowlers. Forget like the sport. Like I'm talking like league bowlers. Like
when I say sport, I don't mean sport patterns. I mean like your league bowlers.
League bowlers.
People who want to do it as something other than just a recreational activity.
You know what it means? It means that you're going to have to really pick and choose the times you go there. Like, and know the schedule and know when the global's on and when it's not on. And don't get me started on global, because I don't even know people that even recreation people that go bowl, like that aren't league bowlers. Like, they don't go to the bowling center.
Global make bowling cool?
No.
I don't know. Like, is that still a thing?
No,
like,
drinking.
Do people walk in and be like, "Oh wow, the lights are out.
No,
there's some black lights. Oh gee, what is this? Like 1993?
Maybe if it's like, okay, what makes bowling cool to recreation bowlers is one, drinking. Okay, for the most part, my friends who go bowling, they like to drink when they bowl, right?
Right.
Kids, maybe for kids. That's the only thing I could think that would be maybe like, I'm talking, you know, the 3-year-old to 10-year-old crowd, right?
I think that the giant digital scoreboards that places like Belmonte Center in Australia have, I think those are much cooler than global to me.
Tony says you'd be surprised we get calls every weekend if we offer that. Open play bowlers do want it. And they can charge more.
Yeah, no, it's a fair point.
Look, all I'm saying is, like, I think the bowling centers, they just need to adjust. Whoever's the manager, there's a manager that's always there, right? The manager has to read the crowd and understand, like, if they have like a group of 3, 4, or 5 league bowlers come in and they want to practice, they should have some flexibility to turn on the lights, right? Like, and if they have the ability to do that, and not all the globe bowling lanes are taken. Now, if you go into a Saturday night and it's wall-to-wall people and people waiting for lanes and it's glow bowling, then I understand them not wanting to put a light on, right?
Right.
But as a league bowler, I'm not going to go practice on a Saturday at 6 or 7 p.m. I think most league bowlers will probably agree with that statement, unless there's obviously a league going on. But like me as an open bowler, a league bowler, or a competitive bowler that wants to go practice, like Sunday morning, Saturday morning, right? If there's no leagues, after work during the week, right? 3 to 6 p.m. right is prime practice time to me, right before the 6:30 leagues come on or the 5:30 leagues on. You have that window where you could go practice and get decent lane conditions and lights on. But when Bolero's turning on Glow Bowl on a Friday at like 2 p.m., or like I've seen it on like when I walk in on a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning, I've seen them have Glow Bowl on at like 10 a.m. when they open. Like who wants to go Glow Bowl at 10 a.m. Unless there's birthday parties, right? Birthday parties is maybe the probably exception to the whole like Glow Bowl. But anyway, Tony's saying it comes down to the district manager. If they are the ones, they do not care for league bowlers, make it that much harder.
Interesting.
That's why bowling at bowling centers that have owners that know both ends of the recreation and league bowler side are really important, and I think that's what Bolero misses.
Yeah, and that's why I say like it's just hard for me to believe that all of this isn't going to dramatically reduce the number of really like high level young bowlers that are coming up through the various ranks around the game.
Mike, this is concerning. Tony's comment here. Tony, we need to have Tony on. FYI, Tony, you need to hit us up. You need to come on. We need to talk about our match at Garden City. It's a company policy when there is no league supposed to be lights out all the time. That's company policy, Mike. It's nuts. It's a terrible policy. Yellow Magic, you're right, 100%.
That there's no way, given the amount of bowling centers that they own, that's not going to impact, what bowling looks like 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now.
How many league bowlers go practice though during the week?
I couldn't care less about the league bowlers, and you know this.
I know, but
I couldn't care less about them.
I'm talking league bowlers in advance.
It's the younger people. It's the younger people I'm talking about. Like Rob, when we were younger, like you spent a lot of days practicing in the bowling center.
I did.
Like it was an everyday thing almost. Like
every day.
Go bowl a few games almost every day.
Every day.
Right now, in this environment, unless you have a privately owned center within reasonable driving distance of your house, you can't do that.
Yeah. I remember specifically in my bowling center where I grew up, they would really only turn the Glow Bowl on Friday nights, Saturday nights, and maybe Sunday nights. And you knew as a bowler there that once like Friday at like 8 p.m. or 10 p.m. hit, Glow Bowl was coming on, and it was time to get the hell out of there.
Well, no. I don't know if they used to do this in Brooklyn, but in Philly, Friday and Saturday night Glow Bowl used to be like the red pin bowling, colored pin bowling.
Yeah.
Where you could win money with certain colored pin combinations, right? And a lot of serious bowlers would show up on Friday or Saturday night and do the midnight bowling thing with the lights out and all that because you could win some money if you got the right combination of pins. I was just thinking like, why wouldn't Bolero bring that back? I mean, especially with like the advent of gambling in our society and where we're at with gambling, especially with young people. Are you telling me that young people wouldn't like an activity where they could go, drink, participate in something, and possibly win money on it without really having to put up any extra money except what you're paying for the experience because that's how it used to work. Maybe you had to put up an extra $5 or $10 to get in the pot, right? But you didn't really have to put up much for what you were winning. You know, I forget what it used to be, but I know if a redhead pin came up, that you could win money there. It was like either the 1, 2, or the 1, 2, 3. Those were the pins you needed a colored pin to come up in. If a colored pin came up in any of those or a combination of those, you would win larger amounts of money. And if the 1, 2, 3 all came up as colored, I think that was like the jackpot, but you had to strike. Do you remember this or no?
Yeah, I remember, but we didn't have, I don't remember too much of that in Brooklyn. I remember when I grew up, I was fortunate enough that the bowling center that I grew up in at Gilhadras Lanes over in Mill Basin in Brooklyn had 2 sides. And the high side was for global and the low side was the lights on. And we used to, I mean, Mike, you were a regular there during the weekends to bowl Friday nights specifically, where you remember on the other side, we would hear like a fight would break out or there'd be something crazy going on the recreation side. But the low end was never global. And I think the reason why is because at that point installing global was super expensive for the bowling center. So they only did one side of the house.
Right.
And then people will come in and you could, I guess, choose like, hey, you want to bowl on the global side or you want to bowl on the regular side? I kind of feel like that's what they need to kind of do on like these Friday afternoon deals. Like when you come in, they should have half the lanes going lights, half of it with global. And then you give the bowler a chance to choose. Like you want to go on the lights or you want to go on the global. But gambling, Yellow Magic says, yeah, bowlers love money, but bowlers love gambling. At least when we grew up. And like, and I don't know if the younger generation is as like gambling crazy as we were when we were younger. But man, when we were like 16, 17, 18, when we were able to like work and make some money or bowl and make money, like the gambling, we just wanted to do more of it. And it definitely was part of our growing up. And people always ask me like, hey, like what age did you start drinking? I'm like, really? I didn't start drinking until like late in college or like early. Our fix was gambling when we were growing up. Like it was more gambling. It was more bowling for money than it was ever drinking or doing drugs.
Can't say that was true for me, but anyway.
For me, it was.
I was probably the exception to that in our bowling crew. I was definitely spending some time partying and
yeah. I mean, yeah, we party a little bit when we bowl juniors and JBTs, but nothing like if I would have lived near you guys.
Yeah. Do you remember the Brunswick recreation centers back in the day when they redid all of those and they were real like hyped up for glow bowling, like the whole lane glowed and they had all the stuff all over the ceilings that you couldn't see with the lights on, but when they turned the lights out, it would all glow. That's what I remember is like the quintessential glow bowling experience from the 90s. You know, before that, I believe it was called moonlight bowling is what it was called in Philly, where they would just shut the lights out and only the lights above the pins would be on. So it wasn't really glow bowling, it was just moonlight bowling. But then the Brunswick Recreation Centers, they were the ones who sort of brought the glow bowling aspect into it. All the house balls there used to glow in the dark. And yeah, it was just it was like an amped up experience, I would say. But it's wild, man. It's wild where we're at in this bowling industry. I'll say that.
Yeah. So anyway, by the way, Big Mike's story was the reason why I created that AI video of the guy walking into the Bolero. And what I should have did is I should have actually made you doing it, walking in. And I might make a new video and post it tomorrow about, hey, Big Mike's Friday afternoon experience trying to give a lesson. And it's going to be you walking in and seeing a bunch of kids running around Global. Yeah. Anyway, the Ringing 10 is got some. I don't know. I think he's a little bit. Jimmy, you drinking a little bit tonight, or what? But
who's in control of that account?
Yeah, I don't know. He says that he likes glow bowling and hides his terrible form. I think people like in the bad areas now where there's a bowling center, they've learned that global. A lot of people could hide things now walking into a bowling center at a kind of a bad area, sneaking in all kinds of booze and weapons. And yeah, I don't know if that's really a good idea for some of the bowling centers that are in the bad areas. But all right, Mike, you ready to finish this up? Get worst of the week.
Oh no, we have one more thing to talk about.
Oh, do we? Okay.
Yeah, we have one more thing to talk about.
I know you. Okay.
Actually, you know what? I'll save it for my final thought.
Okay. There you go. Now we're
Final
talking.
thought. Go
Work
ahead.
smarter, not harder. All right. Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's do it.
Go ahead. You can go first.
Yeah, I'm gonna go first. So I don't know if this is best of the week or worst of the week, but I want to give the props to Southwestern Bowling. Southwestern Bowling, it's a Facebook group that I follow that had a very interesting clip of Pete Weber that I'm gonna share. And the comment was, "Oh God, they mic'd up Pete Weber." And I have instantly, Mike, I've never hit play as fast as I ever hit play in my whole life. But I want to give a warning to everybody out there right now. If you're listening, you're watching, if you have kids that are listening around, that are watching, you're in a car, you might want to mute for the next few minutes because they mic'd up Pete Weber. Okay. And it was a 30-second clip. And let me play it for everybody. So this was Pete Weber mic'd up. Mike, if you can't hear, let me know and I'll fix it, okay?
Fuck! Light. Hi.
This is despair.
Fuck you! Fuck off. Put the camera away. Fucking Christ. Make a fucking spare, will you?
Sounds like me bowling. Sounds like me bowling.
So, best of the week is bowling needs content more like this. They
You forgot the disclaimer, Rob, and now did you? Okay.
did.
All right.
Are you not
You
even
gave a
listening?
disclaimer, Jimmy. I don't know.
I told everybody, if you have the kids, hide them, mute for the next few minutes because it's about to be F-bombs dropped. This is best of the week because, man, whoever decided to give Pete Weber a microphone is a genius. It's worst of the week because it's like, well, what did you expect? Like, oh man, bowling needs more content like that, Mike. That just cracks me up.
Yes, it does. Yes.
But if you ever bowled a PBA tournament, a high level PBA tournament, and you bowl with these guys, and you realize that there's a lot more of this going on when you're on the lanes than people realize. You hear it from a lot of people. You would be like, "Oh wow, I didn't even know they knew that, or I didn't even know that was in them." I mean, look, you're bowling for a living. You're bowling competitively. You're bowling for a paycheck. You're bowling for put food and pay rent and pay mortgages. And if you miss spares and you make shots or you make bad shots when you're supposed to make good shots, and you're not thinking what he's thinking, then you might be in the wrong profession. You maybe shouldn't be a competitive bowler. But saying it, on the other hand, you hear it more than people think.
True. All right, here's my worst of the week. It comes from the Bowling Science Forum. The post is by Tom Malachowski. Tom Malachowski. Sorry, I had to give you worst of the week here, bro. I think you'll all follow me on this one pretty easily. He has a picture of a bowling ball with holes drilled in it, and there's like a dam built, or there's a plug dam built around the holes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just for context, okay? The post reads this: plugging equipment. So I'm a hobby pro shop operator. mostly for myself. With one of my best friends, we are the Power Twirlers Pro Shop. Shameless plug. Yes, we have a page. I see some of the badass plug work done on this page, and you guys are true pros. Any tips on swirling vibrant colors against dark? I'm gonna read the first part of that again, just in case you didn't catch it. It said plugging equipment. So I'm a hobby pro shop operator, mostly for myself. With one of my best friends, we are the Power Twirlers Pro Shop. First of all, hold on a minute. First of all, who cares about what ball plug looks like? No? Who cares?
I didn't know that people took it so serious.
As a matter of fact, I'm almost of the take that it should just be black so people could tell that it was plugged. Because if the pro shop operator does such a good job plugging it and making it look like the actual ball, somebody might then go sell the balls if it's brand new to an unsuspecting person.
Yeah, it's a fair point.
It should be an industry standard that it's like black. No, we don't match it. No, it should be seen that it's plugged. It should be seen.
It's a fair point.
It should also be able to be seen how many times it's been plugged. So that's number one. Okay. Yeah. Number two, and more importantly here, what the hell
is a
hobby pro shop operator?
I think you said what the hell was a power twirler.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. It's a good.
A hobby is that just like you have a pro shop in your house that is just you drilling your own balls as a hobby?
I mean, come on.
Wow.
Come on.
I guess if I had money in a property, I would have a hobby pro shop.
Come on. No.
Outdoor I was more interested about what a power twirler was.
Let's leave it to the professionals. Okay? How about that?
Yeah.
Let's leave it to the true pro shop operators, not the hobby pro shop operators.
So a few comments on that. Steven Scott says Luke Rosedale is meticulous in matching plug colors. Yeah, there's a lot. It's a big I used to try to do that when I worked in the pro shop. Andrew says, nah, color matching looks cooler. Arts and crafts, bro. Arts and crafts, bro. We should make I can make an AI video of that, of a competition, a plug matching competition. Remember a few shows ago, a few months ago, we had like bowling competition, like getting a dead wood out of the lanes.
Right.
I think matching plug colors would be one of the events in our bowler Olympics.
Right. That was when we saw the thing about the fastest ball driller.
Yeah.
Right? That's when we had that.
Plugging and matching it. It'd be like, Cake Wars. You ever watch those shows on Food Network where you have the judges? And there's people, or like Iron Chef. You ever seen that show? And they're all cooking. Imagine plugging the bowl and then you give it to the judges.
Bring it up.
And the judges, they judge you on matching color, creativity. Man, it could be a whole Big Mike's Hobby Pro Shop. Terrible. Yeah, that's this. Anyway, all right, Mike, you ready to wrap us up?
Let's do it. All right, Rob, final thoughts. My final thought is that somebody posted, Augie DeBleck, I think, posted a post on our YouTube page. Our YouTube page, or no, not our YouTube page, sorry, our Facebook page of a clip from the his first name is Jared. I forget what his last name is, but he's one of the photographers that covers the PBA, and he does a podcast based on his photography. And I guess Augie had checked that out, and he heard that Jared was mentioning in there about the PBA documentary, and it actually is going to be coming out. He didn't mention the network that it's going to be coming out on, but it is going to be about 5 episodes, which leaves me a little underwhelmed. I'll be honest with you. I'd like more than 5 episodes, but
you got to plug before you walk, Mike. You got to relax.
Yeah, no doubt. So just interesting to hear word on that, and that they're in the process of finalizing those episodes. It sounded like, and yeah, I would just keep an eye out for that. In terms of the network, who knows? They didn't say. We had heard HBO Sports before, so maybe we take a look there. But would really like to see that perhaps as a part of the CW, as sort of like an introduction to bowling coming on there and being viewed there. But it's just my thought.
Nice. Yeah. I'm curious to see how this documentary plays out. And I think he talked about it being like years in the making. And I know we specifically sent some clips. So I'm even more interested if we end up even getting 5 or 10 seconds of this thrown in there, which would be, in my opinion, especially if it was on HBO, would be amazing. Honestly, it would be so cool just to see yourself on HBO for even if it was a 30-second clip, right? So I hope this really turns out well. I think bowling needs it more than people know. Can get a lot of outside eyes, a lot of sponsorships, a lot of views, ratings. I think he even talked about potentially if they pick it up for a second season, that they would still have to restart filming again in like February or March. And potentially if it got like enough views or I guess ratings, whatever how they do it these days, there could potentially be more seasons of it. And God, this bowling needs something like this more. I mean, I've been preaching for years. You could even read the Jeff Riggles 11 frame blog that I wrote about bowling is boring and how to fix it. And this was kind of one of the ideas that I know wasn't a far out idea out there. I know a lot of other people have the same type of idea where they got to really show the background and they got to show the bowlers' personalities.
No doubt.
My final thought is, I have bowling ball exhaustion, Mike. I have bowling ball exhaustion, and I'm so tired of new ball announcements and just new balls coming out, and I'm just tired of it. I'm exhausted, and I know if I'm tired of it and exhausted of it, I think a lot of the bowling world has got to be exhausted or tired of it. I think there might be a small select people that love these new balls coming out every 2 months, but at what point is enough? Like where people maybe stop buying them, I guess. I don't know. The phase, right? Let's give it the phase 2 as an example, Mike. A Pearl version now of the phase 2. What about the phase 4 and the phase 5? Weren't those Pearl versions of the phase? I just don't understand like the money grab sometimes. And I'm really happy that my AI reel got really, I wouldn't call it viral, but it's almost probably at like almost 200,000 views at this point. Like people like make fun of it, like I'm making fun of it too. So it's not just me, and I know for a fact. So yeah, sorry, I'm venting. So whatever. I know nothing's gonna change, but it's just yeah. All right, you ready to?
All right, Rob, we're gonna call it a night. It's time for Eagles Lions here in a little bit. We appreciate everybody joining us. Email us, sweeptherack@gmail. Keep the emails coming. We appreciate the emails. Anything you want to hear us discuss, talk about, anything you want to follow up with us on, let us know. If you're looking for merch, go to InsideBowling.com. Content creators, Sweep the Rack. Use the code PatchPirate, 15% off. Like, subscribe, please. It helps us out. Okay. Make sure you hit that button.
Next week we have a new sponsor coming on board. We'll have to play it next week for the people.
We do. The sponsors are rolling in, Rob. The sponsors are rolling in left and right. So we'll have some new sponsors next week for the people. And yeah, listen, just tune in next week. We'll be around again, and we'll be chopping it up on whatever topics are appropriate at that time in the bowling community. We appreciate you all joining us. We appreciate everybody out there listening, and we will kick it with you guys next week. Take it easy.
There you guys.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring